So here are the 5 trends that I predict to happen in 2024. The facts and opinions in today's video are my own. However, they are based on my experience, having worked with a little bit over 80 Web3 brands launch and scale in the space over the last years. And one thing we do have at Unfungible, the growth consulting firm that I founded, is a constant look and a constant research that we're conducting in the NFT market so we can best help and serve the different projects that we're helping. So when it comes to a team that has a good pulse on the market, I do believe we have that. Just 1 year ago, I made the exact same video about the 5 trends I believed would happen in 2023. And 2 of them actually came true. The first one being that we are going to be seeing for the first time a Web3 business model. And what we ended up seeing this year was exactly that. Brands like Pudgy Penguins have found their way going mainstream. All that thanks to the early support of the NFT community. Therefore, creating a blueprint that we can use as Web3 brands and as Web3 builders to build, supercharge, and scale our brand. The second prediction that I got right is that we were going to see the year 2023 being incredibly slow and a year with very little hype around metaverse projects. And it turned out to be true. A lot of people realized that the metaverse was a lot further than we had originally thought. And there was very little conversation or even much action or volume or liquidity going into metaverse projects during the year. And this perfectly funnels us into my first prediction for 2024 is that we are about to see a lot more Web3 brand acquisitions taking place. If you recall my prediction of 2023, which is we're going to see the emergence of a functional business model for Web3. Now that we have something that looks like that, what's going to happen is over 2024 and 2025, I expect seeing a land grab opportunity of a lot of the different intellectual properties, of a lot of the different communities that currently exist in the Web3 space, that a lot of more, if you want, established brands or people looking to enter the Web3 space would want. Because at the end of the day, we're starting to see that community is an asset. Intellectual property is an asset. And when used properly, it could fit within a broader brand strategy, a broader go-to-market strategy, whether it's in Web3 or whether it's, in the case of Pudgy Penguins, in the Web2 space. And today in Web3, we are sitting on hundreds of intellectual property brands, call those NFT projects, that all have their own community, that all have their own culture, and all act as their own little cult. And many of those could be primed for acquisition by brands that have a broader strategy. A recent acquisition we saw that kind of got a lot of attention in the space was Project Gutter Cat Gang, which is a pretty OG Ethereum collection launched in June 2021, so almost 3 years now. And just this acquisition got a lot of people buzzing and a lot of people excited within the Web3 space. So I expect to see that a lot more happening next year. So that was prediction number 1. Prediction number 2 is 2024 is going to see a lot of Web3 gaming action. And with this one, I'm cheating a little bit because as we speak right now, Q4 2023, it is clear that we are midway through a Web3 gaming bull market. We have a lot of massive Web3 gaming projects launching right now, this month, next month, and we're going to see all that hype kind of make it into 2024. And even on my side, some alpha, because I'm in talks with so many brands, there's a handful of very big, very well-funded Web3 gaming products that are going to be launching with a tentative date between Q1 and Q2 2024. So there's going to be a lot of money being deployed by Web3 games during those 2 quarters in the Web3 space. And at the end of the day, attention often creates trends. So when millions of dollars are being poured and marketing dollars to launch Web3 gaming products, I expect 2024 to be a year where a lot of people are going to be talking about that. And this perfectly brings us into the third trend, which is Asia as a trend. Something really interesting that you'll notice is that if you are to go on Google Trends and you are to write either NFT or Web3, the dominant countries that make up the search for these has become Asian countries. When last year it used to be a lot of North American countries, a lot of European countries, all of a sudden right now we are seeing South Korea, we are seeing China, we are seeing Japan, all of those countries dominating search terms for Web3. So taking that data and coupling that with what I heard Luca Netz, founder of Pudgy Penguins, recently say during one of his Building in Public series, which is that they are already dominating the US market market. However, Asia is one of their fastest growing market when it comes to the IP of the brand and when it comes to the sales of the plushies. So we are seeing more dominance of NFT technology going towards Asia. That coupled another fact with a conversation I recently had with Jeremy, the founder of Overworlds, a project that we are currently working on. And the guy has decades of experience in the gaming space, millions of dollars backed from Binance. And one thing he says is that he's optimizing his project, not for the East, he's doing that for Asia. Even his mint, the timing of it was a lot more Asia friendly than it is US friendly. Why? Because there's a lot more volume, there's a lot more traction right now happening in Asia for NFTs and especially for Web3 gaming, for his niche specifically. Trend number 4 is actually one we can easily derive by combining trend number 2 and trend number 3. Hang on with me. So trend number 2 we said was gaming. Gaming was gonna be hot in 2024. Trend number 3 we said was Asia. Here's an interesting thing. Historically, the consumer behavior in Asia tends to lean a lot more on mobile gaming than it does in the US. US consumers often tend to consume games on consoles. In Asia, we have a much larger mobile gaming scene and a much larger free-to-play scene. So what this tells us, you can see how we can reverse engineer trend number 4, which is mobile Web3 experiences are about to become a lot more dominant. And that was actually a prediction that I tried to make for the 2023 year. However, it still didn't happen. But now that we are seeing even more money being poured into both gaming and into Asia, I do foresee large players try to close the gap and try to build more friendly, more seamless mobile experiences for the general population. And this brings me back to talking again about Jeremy, because he is someone that understands consumer behavior. And he has said that his game Overworld is going to be optimized for mobile and not for console, because that is where most of user behavior is going to happen. So when a brand that has over $50 million of funding from Binance is optimizing for mobile, you bet we are about to see more products being launched for that specific market. And my prediction number 5, and this is a refreshing one, is that we are about to see royalties come back. If you can describe the year 2023, it was really a lot of fucking around and a lot of finding out.
The more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out.
And that's exactly what happened. We saw OpenSea enforce royalty with a new contract standard that they did, partnering with Yuga Labs, and then reverting back to 0% royalties. We saw at the same time Blur gaining more market share. And all of a sudden, what all this effing around and finding out created is a bad user behavior. Just me recalling on my experience buying my last couple NFTs this year was what I would do is I would go on OpenSea, look at what's available, then I would go on Blur and see what's available, and all of a sudden notice that the NFTs that are available on Blur are different than the ones that are on OpenSea. And then the floor price on Blur is lower than the floor price of OpenSea. On Blur, you had 0% royalty. On OpenSea, you had some NFTs that had the creator royalties on, some that didn't. It was like not a great user experience. An inefficient market, these types of inefficiencies end up getting resolved. And I foresee that inefficiency in user behavior getting resolved in 2024. We even started tasting that with Yuga Labs recently announcing a partnership with Magic Eden, where they were going to create a new standard that enforces creator royalties on a contract level. So you cannot take royalties away from that. And I do believe that this is going to be the trend forward. Royalties have always culturally been part of Web3, and having the ability to earn royalties indefinitely on an asset you create once is incredibly attractive for a lot of brands, a lot of creators, a lot of artists, and a lot of entities that are looking to come in and build for Web3. So royalties as a whole make Web3 a more appealing industry for new people to come into it. And again, I do believe we are going to trend back towards royalties. So these, ladies and gentlemen, are my 5 predictions for 2024. Number 1, we're about to see more Web3 acquisitions. Number 2, the hype from Web3 gaming is going to roll into 2024. Number 3, Asia as a trend. We're gonna see more action happening in Asia than we're going to see happening in the West. Number 4, mobile Web3 experiences are going to become a lot more common in 2024. And number 5, royalties are going to be back in 2024. Let me know your thoughts on today's video in the comment below. Let me know, did I miss any trend? Is there something you're particularly looking at that I might not have covered? Would love to hear your thoughts. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video. I shall see you on the very next one. Cheers.